If you are trying to make money with AI right now in 2026, building automations, running an AI agency, selling agents, or even doing consulting, there is a shift happening right below your feet that most people in the space haven't even noticed yet, including you, right? And the people who do notice it in the next few months are going to spend 2026 turning down clients. I know, turning down clients. Everyone else will watch their margins quietly disappear. There is no third option. Okay. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the winning AI service model for 2026. I'm going to break this down in 3 layers and give you actionables by the end of this video on how you can implement this today and start making money with AI. Now, most of what you are seeing on this platform is people teaching you models, and this platform, be it YouTube, Instagram, or even TikTok, specifically within the whole AI world, right, is a model that worked in 2024, 2025, and sort of just dressing it up a bit more nicer in 2026 and selling it ideally as a course. Now, in my opinion, the quote unquote AI agency is dead. All right. And in this document, it's going to break down exactly 3 layers of what the actual winning model looks like, what is broken about the old way, what is exactly replacing it, and how one concrete move can make on each layer this week. One concrete move that you can make, right? Now, in summary, the old model is sell the build, collect, restart from zero. You're always needing to find clients, which was great because there were clients to find and clients were willing to spend the money. And ideally where it ends is the margins disappear and it's just basically who can get to zero first, right? And the winning model are 3 layers which compounds over and over again. Now, the problem with the old model, okay? Now, what broke, why, and why most people have not even felt it yet, i.e. you. Now, 2 years ago, you could ideally spin up a Make.com or an NA10 or even a Zapier automation, slap the word AI on it, and it's this gold, shiny product that everyone wants a piece of. And you can, back then, you can just charge someone like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, which was pretty good because I was one of the lucky few that got in at that period and I managed to sell it to clients, right? And I slapped on the word AI and AI agency on that, and really it made the biggest difference ever. And again, that model genuinely worked. All right. Now, people were paying for the novelty back then, right? The mystery, the fact that they didn't know what tools can do and what they can't do, and the whole AI craze that was happening, right? You had NA10 come out, Make.com came out, Zapier was there as well, and you had ChatGPT, and it was so many products with so much information that only a few people that actually were keeping up were able to sell these as services, because businesses or even business owners just didn't know where to start or even how to start, right? And what happened last year was basically a knowledge gap, and the gap was basically the entire business, right? That window is closed. Again, it's not closing, it's closed, right? Everyone and their nephew, grandmother, grandfather knows about AI right now, okay? Your client now has ChatGPT or Claude or even Make.com on their phone, right? Their nephew built a chatbot last weekend. The thing you're charging $5,000 for, they can vibe code in an afternoon with Claude or Cursor or Lovable or Base 44. I can go on, you get the point. So the knowledge gap has and what I mean by overnight is within 3 to 4 months, that knowledge gap has completely collapsed, okay? And now the reason why you haven't felt it yet, right? A lot of people in this industry basically are still pricing and positioning like the gap did not collapse, okay? So the first important step here is to acknowledge that it has collapsed. The only reason they have not felt it yet is because they're still riding momentum from clients who signed before, and basically clients, before those clients even knew any better, right? Now that momentum runs out. And when it does, they will be competing against thousands of other people offering the exact same build, all undercutting each other until the price floors hit zero. And we are currently already seeing that is whatever whatever you could have charged 3,000 4 months ago, people are now charging $200 $300 for, because it's that much quicker and easier to build, right? So from 3,000 to 300, it's a big difference. So if your entire offer is, I will build you the thing you are already losing, you just haven't really felt it yet, right? So an example here is an old model versus the winning model. This is basically should give you the full idea. Now, the old model, which is dying / I'm going to edit this now, dead, is the knowledge gap in business, okay? Sell the bill, charge per project. The relationship ends when project ships. Compete on price and tech stack, and raise clients with cold outreach, which was great. Now, the winning model in 2026 is judgment and perspective are the business, sell a position inside the client's operation, relationship compounds every single month, compete on trust and demonstrated thinking, and attract clients through content that pre-sells, which I'm going to get into much detail later in this video, right? Now, quick context on why you should listen to me on this. My name is Shannon, and I've been making content about AI for about a year now, and mostly on TikTok. And with the knowledge that I've shared, I've built a following of 16,000 and growing in under 90 days. And I've helped over 200 businesses and beginners and entrepreneurs within the whole AI space navigate, learn, understand, make money, and save money equally, right? And the thing I've watched happen over the last 12 months is a complete reshaping of who's winning and who's losing in this space. Now, I've talked to a lot of people running AI service businesses. I have a lot of friends who do it as well. And I've watched the ones who've scaled, watched the ones who've quietly burnt out, and the pattern is almost extremely clear at this point. So this isn't really just theory or something I'm just making up. It's what I'm seeing actually happen in real time to real people affecting their businesses, right? Now, layer one, all right? You are the product, okay? Not the tool, not the stack. You need to understand it. It's you. Right now, the first shift, all right, and the one that breaks most people is realizing that the tool you are selling has a shelf life of about 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, now whatever stack you are using right now, somebody is going to release something better. Okay, Claude's going to come up with a new update, ChatGPT is going to come up with a new update, and it's just going to be cheaper, better, and easier the next month. And the half-life on any specific technical advantage is brutally short. All right, now the people winning have figured out something different, right? And they have figured out that they are the product themselves. That's why you see such a large influx of people actually posting on Instagram, posting on TikTok, posting on YouTube. And I don't believe it's too late to start, because the most valuable thing that you can offer is your value, your knowledge, and the way you demonstrate it, so that you are not chasing clients, but clients are now chasing you, right? Because again, the tools are extremely interchangeable. Now, what clients are actually paying for is, i.e., just like I just said, your judgment, your ability to walk into their business, see what is broken, and which of the 40 available solutions actually fits their specific situations, right? Now, the reason why this really matters is the number of options have exploded, and most business owners generally, they really can't just tell the difference between any of them, right? And your judgment is not replaceable by AI. It is made more valuable by AI, all right? It's really important to understand that. And this is why having a personal brand is no longer an option, okay? And I want to be extremely clear by what I mean by personal brand, because it has been ruined by people who think it means posting selfies and motivational quotes and, here are 5 ways that you can do X, Y, and Z. That's really not what I'm talking about, all right? Now, what a personal brand actually means is a body of work that demonstrates how you think. When somebody hires you or needs you for their service, they're not hiring your tech stack. They are hiring the version of you they have watched for 3 months, 2 months, 2 weeks, or just instantly, and decided they trust you, right? The knowledge and value that you give out in your videos, okay, be it for a specific niche, is how you're going to build trust today in order to get clients that are actually willing to spend money on the services you're trying to provide. That trust is your goldmine, right? The automation is just the delivery mechanism. Now, the positioning that is losing versus the positioning that wins. Now, a losing positioning, which wasn't the case last year, is I build agents in NA10. I do GPT automations. I specialize in make.com workflows. I build AI. You get the point. And the winning positionings are I help, for example, e-commerce brands reduce support tickets by 60%. I run the AI function for growing service-based businesses. I show professional service firms how to scale without hiring. I remove the bottleneck that slows down your operations. You get the point. Now, pitching, reframe what to actually say. Now, here is exactly how to translate your current position into language that survives 2026. Now, your old pitch, right, would be, again, I build NA10 automations, and everyone would be jumping to that, right? Because NA10 automations, workflows, AI, people were flocking over that. Now, what you should say instead today is I help, let's say, e-commerce businesses eliminate the repetitive work that is costing them 10 hours every single week, all right? And the reason why this works better is because it speaks to the outcome and not the tool. So there's really no shelf life here, right? You are talking about outcome-based solutions and not tool-based solutions. Now, a second one is I do AI chatbots. I run the customer support team function for businesses scaling past your team size. This is what you should say instead. The reason why it works better is because your positions you as embedded, not transactional. So when you say I run the customer support function, you are basically giving them only one option, which is I will come into your business and run this for you. And you don't have to worry about anything else. And this is not a one-time transaction or a limited time relationship. So you get the idea here, right? Now, an action move for you this week is go and look at your website, your offer page, your DM bio, whatever you are pitching yourself with, all right? If the first thing somebody sees is the name of the tool or platform that you've used, you have already lost the positioning battle, right? Replace it this week with a problem you solve plus a perspective on how to solve it. The tool name should not appear until somebody is already sold on you. That is basically something that should just be a couple of minutes from you. If someone comes to you with a problem or you see a specific problem in a business, you should immediately know what tool it is that you need to use in order to solve that problem, right? So that's a change you really need to make this week. Now, I've written a prompt here that you can copy paste into Claude or ChatGPT or whatever LLM models that you use, and just make sure that you fill it out in the right way, and you can then get a clear understanding on how you can position yourself in 2026. Layer number 2, positions, not projects. So stop selling what ends, right? Start selling what compounds. Now, here's where most AI service businesses sort of quietly fade away. Now, they sell a project, the client pays, the project gets shipped, the relationship ends, and then they start all over again finding a new client, right? And my opinion is that's basically a fancy way of saying you're a freelancer, okay? And it's not really a business that is built for the long term, because every day, every month, every week, you are trying to find a new client, and that client just never stays because you've positioned yourself as someone that you're only needed once and you're not needed again. Now, the brutal math here is all right, this is just example. So if your average project is, let's say, £5,000 and takes a month, you need 12 new clients a year just to stand still. You spend most of your time selling, not building. You have no compounding asset. And every time the tech changes, which is almost every day, you rebuild your entire offer from scratch. So just put that into perspective. Now, the shift in dynamics here is the winning model does not sell projects. It sells a position inside the client's business. You are not the person who's built their AI thing, right? You are the person who runs their AI function. Now, as a vendor, every conversation is about price. Your work ends when the project ships. You have no re-earned trust every time, etc., etc. As an embedded operator, okay, every conversation is about results. Your work compounds every single month. You learn the business deeper over time, harder to replace every month that passes, and the value increases as you understand them better. And lastly, revenue builds itself automatically. Okay. Now, what positions actually look like? The specific structure matters less than the actual principle here, right? So what you are selling is ongoing involvement, right? And don't sort of name it as a monthly retainer, but ongoing involvement, not a deliverable. And here is the main structure that actually works. Now the structure here are into 5, right? Number 1 is, let's say, a monthly retainer. What it looks like, you run their AI function for a flat monthly fee, and this is best for most common, predictable for both parties, okay? Now embedded role, which is what you should be leaning more towards this year, is fractional AI lead. You are on their Slack, in their meetings, in basically deep into their operations, and this is best for service businesses scaling past team capacity. You've got revenue share, equity, and hybrid, which I'm not going to get much into detail for, because this is not something that, if you're just starting out or you're trying to scale, you should think about at the moment. But anyways, I'm going to be leaving this exact document for you to access in the description, so make sure you click that, save it, and it's yours free of cost. Now, the objection, which I've heard a lot of people say, is, my clients only want one-off projects. And every time this comes up, somebody says that their clients will not pay for ongoing projects, or the prices are too high, or whatever it may be. And here's the answer. The most honest answer is the right clients will, right? If you position yourself as someone who is knowledgeable, again, coming back to the whole personal branding perspective, the right clients will find you and they will pay for it because they trust you and they believe that the things that you are saying are truly resonating with them. And the wrong clients will ideally not, right? Now, your job is not to convince every single business owner, it's to stop chasing the wrong ones, okay? And which I'm going to get into a little later about cold pitching and cold emails, etc. Now, the wrong buyer, which you should say no to or just let them go or stop wasting your time on, is seeing AI as a one-time cost to get done. They basically want the thing built, then wants it to be done, does not believe AI is an ongoing need, will never become a great long-term client, and will always push back on retainer pricing, or any pricing for that matter. The right buyer, right, which is, you should ideally go find them. And I don't mean this by pitching all these businesses via DMs and emails. It's by putting yourself out there. So the right buyer basically sees AI as a permanent capability they need to own. Why does this AI keep coming in? Sorry, I'm not sure. They know the space is changing every month, understands they need someone steering it, happily pays ongoing versus hiring full-time, and sees you as a business asset, but not as a service vendor. Okay. Now, the action move for you this week is, instead of pitching, I will build you a customer service AI for, let's say, £6,000, pitch, I will run your entire operations end to end for £3,000 a month, as an example. Now, the same client, the same problem, completely different relationship. Now, the first one ends in 30 days. The second one compounds. And the crazy part here is the second offer is easier to close because it lowers their upfront commitment and gives them somebody to call when something breaks, right? And you can steal this prompt over here, is convert past clients to ongoing. So it's a prompt where it says, I have a past client who paid me for X, Y, and Z project. The project is done. I want to pitch them an ongoing position, what I built for them. Just go into detail, paste this into Claude or ChatGPT or whatever LLM you're using, and then go from there. Now, the third and final step, okay, which is distribution is the new delivery, right? Now, the winning agencies are not won in DMs, they are won on the feed, okay? And what I mean by this is the last layer is the one that quietly separates the people making real money from the people grinding cold outreach forever. So your ability to put out content that actually teaches something. Now, that has a real point of view that signals you understand this world, i.e. the AI world, at a level your prospects do not. And that is your sales pitch, that is your sales process. Now, the agency posting, 3 sharp videos a week is going to outsell the agency sending 500 cold emails every single time. And it is not even close, right? Now, the reason why cold outreach is losing its edge, right? So the buyer's reality in 2026 is they have been pitched by hundreds and hundreds of AI agencies claiming to do X, Y, and Z. And they have basically been burnt, right? So they have been spammed, they are tired, they do not want any more pitches. They just want to find you on their own and decide for themselves that you know what you're talking about, okay? So content does something cold outreach can never ever do, and it works even while you sleep. It compounds, and most importantly, it pre-sells. It builds authority, it builds trust, and it pre-sells. So the sell, when they do end up booking a call or messaging you, is going to be 10 times more easier. Now, what pre-selling actually looks like. So by the time somebody books a call with you, they already have watched you talk for a couple of minutes, an hour. They've seen all the videos you've posted, and they've already decided you know what you are doing. So this call is not really a pitch. It's a logistics conversation. It's a totally different process. It's a different close rate. And this call is basically to say that, yep, I'm the right guy. Let's get on with it. So now, cold outreach versus content, the real comparison. Now, what works? So the dimensions here is what works while you sleep. With cold outreach, it always requires constant active effort. And with content strategy, yes, because it works 24/7 after posting. Compounds over time? Nope, for cold outreach, because it resets every campaign. Yes, for content strategy, because audience and trust build monthly. Pre-sales? No, because they come in cold every time. For content, yes, they already believe before they book. So you get the idea. And while I just want to cover the buyer psychology, there's a lot of resistance when it comes to cold outreach. They were not really looking for you. Or even if they were looking for a similar service, they were not looking for you. Or they didn't even know that they wanted you. So with content strategy, it's very receptive. They found you on their own. So you get the idea versus cold outreach versus content. Now, what an ideal content strategy actually looks like. So not in general, so not tips and tricks, one specific problem from every angle for 90 days straight. And here's the exact framework. Now, pick one problem. Your ideal client's most expensive problem. Every angle, so mistakes, frameworks, case studies, constraints, tasks, etc. Speak about it. 90 days, so consistent. So be consistent. Post, whether you're getting views, whether you're not getting views. Again, remember, it's a long-term game. It compounds. Your one single video can boost can get you 10 sales, right? They find you, so not a stranger pitching, the expert they chose, and then the logistics call. So again, it's not a pitch, it's more of a so when do we start sort of call, right? So here's a 90-day content engine that I've built as well for you guys. So pick one specific problem your ideal client has, post about that problem for every angle you can think of for 90 days. And here's what every angle actually means in practice. Now, the content type has been split up here. So the mistake, the framework, case study, your take, a mindset shift, the prediction, the how-to. Now, example for AI service businesses, right? So the mistakes most businesses make when they try to add AI to their customer support is one. The 4-part audit I run before I touch any client's AI setup, most people skip step 3, the framework. Now, case studies, how I helped a 12-person agency cut their client reporting time by 80% with one system. So you get the idea here, right? So the action move for you this week is pick one specific problem your ideal client has, write it on a piece of paper, post about that problem for every angle you can think of for the next 90 days. Again, not AI in general, not tips and tricks or any of that sort, but specific problems. And by the time somebody has watched 10 of your videos on the exact same problems, you are not a stranger pitching them. You are the person they've already decided knows the answer. Again, I'm not going to promise you that you're going to post it and get 10 clients. It is a bit of a slow start. Again, it took me 90 days to build that reputation. That's why I'm saying 90 days. And once it picks up, it's never ever going to be an issue for you getting clients. And here's a prompt to steal that's going to help you generate 30 content angles for one problem. So you can copy paste this prompt. Ideally, personal preference, I'd pick Claude and just paste this prompt in. Obviously, just make sure you fill in all of the details. Now, the full picture here is when you put the 3 layers together, this is the model, right? So layer 1 is you as a project, judgment over tools. Layer 2 is positioning, not projects, okay? Compounds. Layer 3 is distribution as the sales process. And the results is turning down clients in 2026. Okay, so you are turning down clients that no longer has any benefit to you because you're not the clients you're looking for. So the agency is still selling, I will build you a chatbot for, £3,000 are going to spend 2026 watching their margins completely. Well, to be fair, their margins have already disappeared, because if you go on Fiverr or Upwork right now and you look for an AI chatbot, someone's probably selling it for $300, $200, and maybe even less, right? And the ones, i.e. you, who are going to make the shift, or who have already made the shift, are going to spend 2026 turning down clients and actually making money. So there is no third option here. The market is going to force everyone into one of these two camps. The only question is, which one are you going to be in when it does? And with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope this was insightful. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok. My socials are down in the description below. Now, if you enjoy content like this, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be posting daily content about AI and how you, as either a AI service business or a beginner or intermediate, wants to learn how to get better with AI, this is the channel you need to come to. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.